Welcome to another episode of Hello Again Wednesday with Brent Miller. Each Wednesday you can join in as a special guest. Answer it along with the question of the day. Listen to life stories. Follow him on Spotify or your favorite podcast platform. On Facebook or his YouTube channel, Brent Miller, What's on His Mind. This week's episode 126. Ever wonder? Question of the day. What do you wonder? And now,
right, it is Hello Again Wednesday, and this is episode 126. I want to thank you for joining me this Wednesday. I'm always glad that you're clicking in and checking to see what's going on with Hello Again Wednesdays. I'd love to hear more and more of your stories. Please go ahead and comment on or add video of yourself with some of the questions, the question I ask and the answers that you have for them. I'd love for you to join in as my special guest. And anytime you really want to be synced in and live with me as a special guest, and you have some sort of thought process that you'd like to have a little conversation with, let me know, and we'll make arrangements to where you'll be actually not only a special guest, but you'll be live with me as my special guest. Make sure as you're watching that you'll go ahead and please click the likes, click the shares, all that good stuff that is needed to make these episodes continue. Otherwise, it's just me. And maybe my mom. I'm just kidding, because there's others that watch it. A lot of clicks, but please keep doing it. I appreciate it very much as you join in that way. As you saw from the opening little segment there with the intro, it is just to show you tell you what the question of the day is that it is. I just want to make sure I didn't skip over anything real quick here. Yeah. You know what do you wonder? What do you wonder? Ever wonder why a heart beats, or why a star twinkles? I saw a profound one as I was preparing for this week's episode that said, ever wonder if your life had meaning? And I'm like, oh, wow, that one's really, really, really deep. And so those are some starters of the ever wonder. The whole thought process for me started with watching some clips and stuff like that, and I came across an old clip back in the early 2000s of President Bush, and he was overseas, and you guys might remember this, where he's giving a statement at a podium, and as he's introduced or whatever, and he's talking, a national of where he was visiting, or someone of there, grabbed his shoe off and whipped it at the president, and the president ducked, and he took his other shoe. The other guy took his other shoe off and threw the second one at the president, and he ducked both times, not getting hit by the shoe. And then if you watch the video clip, the man that was supposed to be a journalist was taken immediately into custody. And so then it made me wonder, ready? Did the man ever get his shoes back? Or did they become the president's keepsake at how fast he could dodge two flying shoes at a conference? That what they call it, the media conference. And so it just made me wonder, whatever happened to those shoes that guy whipped at our president as he was visiting overseas. So then I began to really get into a thought process of, let me put it this way, because there's things that come into my mind of play, and that it would be years ago when I was a youth pastor in Pekin, Illinois, at Pekin First Church of God. I was a part of a team that was counselors, and then also as directors in certain areas of teen camp, and that was junior teen and senior teen camp. in Illinois. Excuse me, in Illinois, and there was a gentleman there that was serving also as a youth pastor at the same time I was, by the name of Bamba, and he had this little bit that he'd have that little goatee or whatever, and he'd say a phrase or say a statement, and he goes, it makes you go, and I might have done the thing a while back, but it just kind of, or makes you wonder, okay? And so he came into my mind along with the president in his shoes and stuff like that scene. And I started wondering about things. So then I dug even a little deeper into this thought process of what makes you, what do you wonder? What are the things that come across your mind? Are you like me? Does some things just pop into your head? And because that happens to me quite a bit. And so I began to delve into looking at some things, and I came across a Reader's Digest article, and it was by I believe two ladies. The original lady that wrote was Morgan Cutolo, Cutolo, and I think it was reposted yesterday by Krista Carruthers, Carothers. I want to give credit to who had these thought processes. It wasn't mine. I have thought of them, wondered about them, but they have them written down into an article. And I'm not going to go into a whole bunch because it's like 32 things. Some where I never really wondered about and or found boring or whatever. You can go back. I'm going to, in the comments, my own personal comments, I'm going to list the credits where the sources were that these ladies got these questions, these wonderings. So here's a few of them. Ready? Why do my fingers get wrinkly when I'm swimming? And there's a really cool one. They give you, there's the question, and then they give you a statement. Well, this is a scientific fact. This is this, or this is, however they got the source of why do fingers get wrinkly. And I had a thought, and I'm not going to say it on air, but it's a funny one, and it's in my head. Okay. Next one. Ready? Why do cats climb in boxes? Do any of you guys have cats out there? I have a lot of cat friends and stuff. And it's really funny because we just went to Knott's Berry Farm, which is our new venue of entertainment. We've moved from Six Flags to Knott's Berry this year, and just enjoying the food. I know I've said this before, but we were there this past weekend, and as part of my walking, of my recovery. And I come across this question, why do cats climb into boxes? And they do it this way. This is what's written in the source. They do it to feel safe, according to Life Science. Big cats also like to hide in a spot where nothing can sneak up on them. So that explains to me, we're at Knott's Berry Farm, and we're getting kind of walking along this one area, and it is the mine wagons or whatever, the mine cars that go into the caves and stuff like that. And it's near some food and stuff. And all of a sudden, some of the kids see this cat up on this wall. And what it is there's a cat, and he's perched on a ledge, and it's kind of cave-like in there. And that's why. Maybe he's trying to be where no one can sneak up on this black cat. But the kids did find it and did see it, and that was like a little extra thing of our day at Six Flags. Okay, here's another one, and some of you guys can dive into some of these and with your answers. Why do we hiccup? And man, it really went deep with this one, way back into the Egyptian times and stuff. But why do we hiccup? And so, yeah. Especially when you hear someone that's hicked up for a long time and stuff like that. Ready? We live, I'm telling you, in fact, Lauren got a bike for her birthday. She's always heading down to the beach now because it's just a bike ride away. And in fact, the kids, some of the younger grandkids even rode down to the beach with her last week. Why do seashells sound like the ocean? And I'm not going to go into detail of it. It's just really, ready? It's not really the ocean, everyone. It's something else. Who would have thought? And so you can look that up as these wonder thoughts that I'm going through. Here's one, and I've seen it. I didn't pay no attention to it, but once I saw the question, it was like, wow, okay, ready? And I have cop friends too. Why do cops touch the taillight on a car during traffic stops? And so what is this article said in Reader's Digest is that for decades, police officers, as they approached the car that they pulled over, they would put their fingers on the car's taillight. And it was said to, that as they approached, they would leave fingerprints on the car just in case. It's a just in case precaution that would prove they pulled the car over, and should, if they were injured or encounter something where they became gone missing or anything like that, according to the law dictionary, they would put that on there, and they made it a practice to do it. Now, that would be an old practice, because as technology has advanced, there's these dash cams and stuff like that and body cameras to where they really don't need to do the fingers printing as much anymore. Ready? Why do we see the same face of the moon when you're looking up at a full moon? Why do you always see the same thing up there? I'm not going to tell you the reason or anything like that, but for someone who loves astronomy and space, and we have, in fact, I'm looking at one right there. We have telescopes for looking at the moon and the stars and the clusters. And so why does the moon always seem to have the same face? Now, I liked this one. Ready? Why do squirrels chase one another? And there's a nice little paragraph. These are just little short paragraphs of answers. Why do squirrels chase one another? And this is what I found out on my end. It is not to antagonize our dogs in the backyard. We got a squirrel for years that would run the wire that goes right across our backyard just to antagonize the dogs. And that is not the reason. You'll once again have to look that one up too. Now, here's two questions. They're two separate questions, but they kind of really go, ready, hand in hand, or they go foot in foot. And here they are. Why are some people left-handed? And I'm like, okay, that's always a good question that people ask throughout history, I believe. Why are some people left-handed? The second question that bounced right underneath that one was this. Are left-handed people also left-footed? And some people are going to think that's the dumbest question ever, but there actually is an answer or a thought process. And so I just took the very beginning of the paragraph, and it says this: footedness, and handedness are more often in sync for right-handed people than for southpaws, according to Discover. So that means if you're right-handed, you really lead off with your right foot. Not so much left-handed and left-footed. I love that little statement that was in that one. Okay, and so let me keep on going here because my time is ticking away. Why are there 13 in a baker's dozen? Another favorite question of mine. Ready? And this is my personal answer. You can look it up, but here's my personal answer. I really don't care. I just love the fact that I pay for 12 donuts and I get another one for free. And if I'm not mistaken, Yum Yum, which is out here, we have Yum Yum Donuts, and I don't know if it's a nationwide donut thing, but Yum Yum Donuts is a big chain out here in at the LA area. And I could be wrong. If you buy a dozen, you might get 2 extra. I don't remember. I just enjoy that you get extra donuts when you buy a dozen. Okay, and then I saw a really cool one. Ready? Why do we wear wedding rings on our 4th finger? And now I'm going to read this one because this one just really interests me. The traditions of wearing a finger on your left hand dates back to ancient Egypt. Egyptians saw wedding bands as a symbol of eternity and believed there was a delicate nerve that ran from the ring finger all the way to the heart. We know that the heart is an organ for pumping blood, but back then they believed it was the center of our emotions. Ancient Greeks and Romans followed a similar tradition and passed on the wedding band finger to us. Now, I do not have one on because years ago, while we're living out here on the coast, I actually started losing weight. And I had the grandkids and stuff. We're out in the ocean, we're boogie boarding, and this was way before my back issues, having a great time and stuff. And all of a sudden I come up out of the ocean waves of riding a good one, and you know what? It was gone. And so there's a fish out there, probably Mr. Limpet, and you'll have to look up him to discover who Mr. Limpet is, has my ring on their fin. Okay, ready? And I'm going to just do two more, I think it is. Ready? Why does a smiley face symbolize happiness? And it goes to say that there was an insurance company back in 1963, and they were going through some tough times and a tough transition. And so they hired a graphic designer to create an image to boost morale, not only throughout the company, but then it took off because they were an insurance company. And so as they boosted their morale, that was back in 1963 with the smiley face. And I always, thought it was Forrest Gump. Who else thought it was Forrest Gump that, remember, created the smiley face? Okay, so it really wasn't Forrest Gump. It was back in 1963. The insurance company was in Worcester, Massachusetts. Massachusetts people, I got some friends out there. If I said that city correct, Worcester. All right, and so here's my last one. Ready? And this touched my heart greatly. Why do we eat cake on birthdays? I challenge you to look it up. I'm not going to give you the answer, but I will say this. For me, it's because today is my birthday. It really is my birthday today. If you're wondering, it's applesauce cake. That's mine. Applesauce cake, and I can do it two ways. Applesauce cake with a choice of powdered sugar sprinkled over it, or with Cool Whip, and a glob of Cool Whip that gets on the mustache while you're eating it when it's that high. That's how you eat an applesauce cake. And I love both ways. They're both great with those kind of toppings. In fact, as I was waking up this morning, talking about my birthday for a moment, as I was waking up this morning, I started to head out to the kitchen to get my cup of coffee. And this is, we have a chalk wall that is right there. You can see there's a thing that says Tiki, and the bird cage is right there. There's a little hamster cage. We have Syrup the hamster, Tiki the little white parrot cockatiel thing or whatever it is. And then right there's our chalk wall, and Michelle, one of my daughters, drew "Happy Birthday, Pawpaw." And she goes, it says 58. If you zoom in, it says 58. Those are the two candles I had last on the cake. And it is an applesauce cake with Cool Whip on top. And so that is what my daughter did on the chalkboard for me today. And I believe, are you ready? Okay, that is it. That is all my questions of the day. Or actually, do you wonder? But anyways, I had all those questions. So Bible study is 5:30 today. I have the ones that are usually doing our Bible study, they are enjoying some family time this week. And so I'm going to substitute for them. I have a substitute Zoom link for this week's Bible study. And we're going to talk, a great question came up last week's Bible study, and it was about fear of God, fear of the Lord, or to fear the Lord or fear God. And so we're going to go a little bit deeper and check out that question that they had in today's Bible study. If you have no church services in your area and you'd like to join us via Zoom, let me know. I'll get you that link. Or you can watch us on Sundays at culvercitychurchofgod.org or on the Culver City Church of God Ministries Facebook page. We're there every Sunday, 10:45 live, unless there's technical difficulties. Or you can, you know what? Check out a church near you. If there's a church near you, especially on Wednesday or Thursday or Saturday or whenever the churches are gathering near you, go and check them out. Be with some friends, laugh together, eat together. Who knows, they might even be serving birthday cake today. So go ahead and be there, and please continue to click the likes and the shares for these videos. Pass them along so they can do this. Join in on the question of the day, which is, what do you wonder? and keep watching on my YouTube channel, Brent Miller, What's on His Mind. Make sure you leave all those comments, okay? I hope you have a great continued Wednesday. Thank you most of all for being what I consider my special guest today and every day and every Wednesday. If you're new to Hello Again Wednesday on the podcast, it is a podcast now. It's on Spotify or some of your other platforms. You can listen or watch on those things also. Thank you for being a part of that as the listening audience just continues to grow. Remember, give somebody a huge hello again hug, a handshake, or whatever. And as always, I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday on Hello Again Wednesday.
Thanks for watching or listening to this week's episode of Hello Again Wednesday with Brent Miller. Question of the day. Listen to life stories. Follow him on Spotify or your favorite podcast platform. On Facebook. Or his YouTube channel, Brent Miller, What's on His Mind. Please join him next Wednesday for another episode.